This time Vanessa is from Lawrenceville is gonna introduce our speaker.
Raging Cajun.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vanessa, and I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Hey, Vanessa.
First of all, I'd like to console the newcomers. If you're still shaking, don't worry about it. It'll start to get better towards the evening. I came to the first workshop here in September of 1989, and this is where I found out I was an alcoholic. I came with my Al-Anon mask on, and all you women were scared the daylights out of you. You know, when you talked about how you felt before, during, and after drinking and doing drugs. And I will always thank God for this workshop, because this is where I found out for sure who I really was. I wondered why those Al-Anon women could not understand alcoholics. I understood them completely. I found out when I got here. And, you know, I got a sponsor in Al-Anon. I picked her because she wasn't real strong on the steps, you know, that I knew not to do all that stuff every time I read it on the wall. So why do I have to keep repeating this stuff over and over? And when I got here, they had a speaker for Magic and Power, the steps. It was just incredible, this lady that is going to speak to y'all this morning. One of the reasons I got so much out of what she said is because she spoke slowly and gave me time to think about what she said. And I love her so much. And she really helped me, and it took me about 1.5 years for me to get up the courage just to tell her that she helped me. And I love you so much, and I'm really looking forward to what you have to share with us this morning. I'll give you Peggy Riggs.
I'm Peggy Riggs, and I'm an alcoholic. This is the key, the guts of our fellowship, the steps. I'll be all right, I think. I had an unfortunate thing happen to me last Sunday. I fell and hit my head like Jack broke his crown, and I didn't get to spend this past week putting it all together. I've got it all here. But I just didn't get it put together. Vanessa asked me a while ago, says, you got your velveteen rabbits? I said, boy, they are multiplying. I got 2 big books and 3 12 and 12. The old set that I started out with wouldn't do when I was in a step study meeting. They'd say, that's on page 53. And I said, that's in my book. Well, I found out what's wrong. They changed the 12 and 12 to a 30-line page, and my book had 28 lines. And so pretty soon I got off register from everybody. I tried numbering all the paragraphs and trying to get everybody to number their paragraphs. I numbered my paragraph. This is supposed to be the magic and power of the steps. This will happen to me every now and then. The freight falls off my train of thought. I wonder, maybe they know what they're talking about. Why did they say the magic and power of the steps. They could have said the power and magic of the steps. And we could call this the PMS movement. Have a very good connotation for this group of people. We all know enough about that. Thank you very much. So it's the magic and the power of the steps. And I thought, well, what can you say about magic? Who knows anything about magic? Magic is sleight of hand. Magic happens when you're not looking. It's what do the French say, a trompe-l'oeil, tricking the eye. So I thought, well, we won't worry about the magic. We'll just presume that it happens. And when it happens, you see it. You know, it's like where's the water? The magic will happen. So I thought we will just differ with the power. No, that's not a good word. People dicker. I don't think I said that again. I don't have it written down. Power. I was in a meeting the other day, and somebody said power. And I said, P-O-W-E-R, power. Right in the middle of power is we. Power. We is in the middle of power. And I think that's what makes the fellowship work, like the traditions. The first tradition is the one that I freak out over. The unity of AA. Our lives, the lives of all to come, depend squarely on the unity. We stay whole or AA dies. Without unity, the heart of AA would cease to beat. Our world arteries would no longer carry the life-giving grace of God. His gift would be spent aimlessly. And so you say in AA an individual doesn't count for much. He would be dominated by his group and swallowed up in it. We believe there isn't a fellowship on earth which lavishes more devoted care on its individual members, nor none that more jealously guards an individual's right to talk, think, and act as he wishes. That kind of jazz is what made me so comfortable when I got in this program. I'm like the circuit speaker lady from California who says, I got my cup and my chair and I'm staying. And it could happen. Y'all could run me off, I guess, but you'd have to do something pretty monstrous to do to run me off. So we is empowered by God to carry a message to alcoholics who still suffer. Like the fifth tradition said, a group's primary purpose is to carry its message to an alcoholic who still suffers. But I ain't seen a group go out and help an alcoholic. An alcoholic comes to the group, and the group helps. So that's the we thing, power. And in the fourth chapter of the big book, where they're talking to we they talk about power. This is an illness that only a spiritual experience will conquer. codes and philosophies didn't save us. We could wish to be moral, could wish to be philosophically comforted, and could will these things with all our might, but the needed power was not there. Our human resources as marshaled by the will are not sufficient. They fail utterly. Lack of power without them. We had to find a power with which we could live, and it had to be a power greater than ourselves. But where and how to find that power? This book and this program object is to enable us to find a power greater than ourselves to help us solve our problems. So this says this thing is spiritual as well as moral. I heard a man the other day in the meeting say that it's psychological and moral. And my friend Louise was sitting next to me and said, "Where does it say that?" And I did find where it says that it's spiritual as well as moral. And so when they started the program in 35 and it worked, and they published the big book in 39 and it worked, and they said and how it works, these are the steps we took. And conceded that the core of this thing is 12 steps. They round around in the program successfully from 39 until they got together to 12 and 12 and 52. And when they published the 12 and 12, they wrote in the preface that this is a group of principles, spiritual in their nature, which if practiced as a way of life can expel the obsession to drink and enable the sufferer to become happily and usefully whole. Now, it doesn't take long for the obsession for alcohol to leave. I see one nodding head. But as my brother-in-law said, so why do you keep going back to those meetings? And out of nowhere I says to him, I says, well, why do you keep going to church? And he said, okay. And that's what I'm growing in is the life of the Spirit. The foreword to the 12 and 12 says that many people, non-alcoholics, report that as a result of practicing the 12 steps, they've been able to meet other difficulties of life and find a way to happy and effective living. My life has been happy, and it's not over, obviously. And I have no idea what. It's like my mother said, why am I still here? I said, never mind, you are. If you wasn't needed, you wouldn't be. And so we should know that if God has given us this special thing, then we are needed. We were talking about sponsorship last night and saying it's not really responsibility of a sponsor to do something, because God does it. And as soon as the pigeon realizes that the sponsor ain't doing it, God's doing it, then it's like that poster that was at the scout hut where I used to go up and walk across the meeting that said, don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend. And so that's what I think your sponsor is going to do. It's just walk beside you. And ultimately, you see, anybody's reward is in helping others. And so you do a service to your sponsor by allowing the sponsor to try to help you. And so your turn comes. I'm sorry, but that's what you come for, is to help the sponsors. You do that successfully, and newcomers will come and help you. It seems like everything in my life works that way. I start out thinking one thing and end up with it turned around, and I see a whole new picture. I used to hear, go to meetings and don't drink. And I turned that around and said, maybe it's don't drink and go to meetings. And no, that's the way it was. I had the other. They didn't want you coming in here breathing like bourbon and scotch and stuff, so they said don't drink and go to meetings. And go to meetings and don't drink, and the answers will come. I wanted to have a little square card that gives the one-word definition. The one-word definition. The one-word definition of the steps, the 12 steps principle. That's my lottery ticket. 12 areas you've got there to unlock the power. You know those: honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, brotherly love, discipline, perseverance, awareness of God, and service. We could easily spend all the time that's left on any one of those 12. I got this little 12 and 12 and wrote those words down in the table of contents by each of the steps. And then I got when they start giving the table of contents reference for the traditions. And I thought, maybe we could have one-word definition for each of the traditions. And since I never have been given them, I made them up. The first tradition is unity. The second tradition is conscience. The third is desire. The fourth is autonomy. The fifth is purpose. The sixth is endorsement. The seventh is self-supporting, non-professional, serve, public opinion, promotion, and spiritual anonymity. So that kind helped me to tack those on to 12 stems and incorporate them in my personal life. This one called Perseverance, I suppose, is kind of like patience. It's not quite the same. What happened was I raised 3 children through school and abhorred and avoided PTA. Well, of course, in those days I was drinking with. Finally, when my kids got grown and I got in program and got sober, I found I was compelled into a PTA program that I call patience, tolerance, and acceptance. And we keep this very quiet. We do not ask for the above. Do not ask for patience or tolerance or acceptance, because you will be given chances to practice. It's required for patience. For instance, I brought my Velveteen Rabbit in a veterinarian's bag that says control fleas before you. My daughter-in-law's cat lives with us and my daughter-in-law and her baby and myself. And it fell my lot to take her cat and my cat to the veterinary for its treatments. And I got a whole bag full of stuff. And it's kind of interesting to watch the way her cat and my cat behave. Maybe they are to personify something, is to make it like a person. But maybe these two critters animalify the relationship I have with my daughter-in-law, you know. Her cat just moved in and made room for herself. She's kind of plump, and my cat's kind of grouchy and moody and standoffish. They've managed to live together for 3 years now. Jennifer and I have grown a whole lot together. I mean, she got me new clothes very soon. You can't go down there and do what you're going to do without some new clothes. So, got me a pair of size 18 blue jeans, and they are wonderful. Wear the world like a loose garment, it says in our meditation. I can not only stand up in these blue jeans, I can sit down. Well, she got me a size 14, and I could not move in them. So she went back and got me the 18. And a shirt, since I had a heart attack in 86. I can't breathe with a bra on. And I think she's very uncomfortable with the fact that I'm braless. So she got a shirt that has this rather thick section across the front. But to make up for it, it's got these little nipples all around. I'm real happy to be as presentable as I could be, what with a hole in my knife. I think all my talk spilled out. It's not there. We talk about how if I have, I think what I'll do is I'll get some vegetable dye and put in my magic marker. and make it another color and go through and mark power in my books for a while. There's a lot of talk about power, but there's a lot of talk about humility. And there's a lot of talk about keys around here. The third step key is the willingness key. And I've already used up all my yellow magic marker on marking willingness in my book and wants to in my books. And now I'm finding keys. Jerry used to give a talk at Turning Point, a recovery system that they had up in New Jersey. And she'd take this wad of keys and lay them out there, you know. Those represent responsibility. When you get responsible, you have the key to your house, you have the key to your car, you have the key to your friend's place, you have a key to a safe deposit box at the bank, and you have a whole wad of keys that demonstrate that you're a responsible person. When you came in here, you probably didn't have any keys. Or you probably didn't have any of those things, an apartment or a car or anything like that. There's a key at the end of step 12 in the 12 and 12. Understanding is the key to right principles and attitudes, and right action is the key to good living. Therefore, the joy of living is the theme of the 12th step. There are several references to the joy of living. Somewhere I have started a collection of keys. It's hard for me to train myself out of one book into another. But the keys are scattered all through here. I mean, there's even keys back in the traditions. And there's humility. It's time for another 10-minute break. The long form of the 12th tradition is humility. Anonymity has an immense spiritual significance. It reminds us that we are to place principles before personalities, that we are actually to practice a genuine humility to the end that our great blessings may never spoil us, and that we shall forever live in thankful contemplation of Him who presides over us all. I have a pigeon in Atlanta who was a flight attendant for Eastern Airlines, and when she got sober, she said to me, "Peggy," she says, "reality is unreal." And when I was preparing for what I could say to y'all here that I didn't say the last time, I was a big photo as I am now, I found the ultimate reality. In step 11, there is a direct linkage between self-examination, meditation, and prayer. Taken separately, these practices can bring much relief and benefit, but when they are logically related and interwoven, the result is an unshakable foundation for life. Now and then, we are granted a glimpse of that ultimate reality, which is God's kingdom. And I don't see any way out of recognizing that and acknowledging that this is God's program, and that God's doing it for us, and He's doing it through other people that have the same problem we do. And it only when somebody gets honest enough to admit that they're only a channel, and that the whole process of healing is something that God does, and that's the power of the steps. And my problem is I can't keep it simple. And I can't leave it alone. I keep going back and back and back. And maybe that's not bad. I mean, I'm still in love with these two texts. And I've seen the magic. And I've been given the power to stay sober a day at a time for 6,900 days. And I hope that I don't outgrow the challenge of trying to turn this faceted concept to where a light will flash off of some facet of it into your heart. And if I quit feeling like I'm so bloody important and just be myself, then maybe God will use me. And meanwhile, I intend to enjoy myself. It says that we absolutely insist on enjoying life. We're not a glum lot. If newcomers could find no joy in our fellowship, they'd want no part of it. And so we think cheerfulness and laughter make for usefulness. And outsiders are sometimes shocked when we burst into merriment over a seemingly tragic experience out of the past. But why shouldn't we laugh? We've recovered and been given the power to help others. Everybody knows that those in bad health and those who seldom play don't laugh much. So God wants us to be happy, joyous, and free. And we can't subscribe to the belief that this life is a vale of tears, though it may be that from time to time, I'll tell you. But God didn't make our misery. And we avoid manufactured misery, but if trouble comes, we capitalize on it as an opportunity to demonstrate His omnipotence. And I think that these women in recovery retreats are an unparalleled way to find a conscious contact with a higher power. And I wish all of you success in your endeavors, and I would appreciate it if you would pray for me as I go through whatever travail I have to maintain my success a day at a time. And let's take another 10-minute break. Thank you.